Did you know Jesus defines Holy Spirit? In Mark chapter 13, verse 11, the yellow highlighted text that you see, Jesus teaches sometimes the words people say are not their own words. The words are from or by Holy Spirit. And in Matthew chapter 10, verse 20, Jesus teaches, Holy Spirit is our Father's words speaking from your mouth. Now I did some editing in the blue and green highlighting and the word in, and I had to add the word through because we have 4 examples of our Father's words. The first example, Luke chapter 1, verse 67, tells us when Zacharias declared John's the Baptist's life, these words had to be said by our Creator, for he prophesied John's life. The second example we have is Luke chapter 1, verse 41, when out of Elizabeth's mouth she declared Mary's son is blessed. These 2 verses prove their words were our Creator's words coming from their mouths. The third and fourth example are in Luke chapter 12, verse 12, and Matthew chapter 12, verse 28, where Jesus teaches our Creator's words will be said in their mind, and then they are to say His words. Other examples of our Creator's words coming to their mind are in the Hebrew text, where the prophets are being told to go out, and then our Creator will tell them what to say. Thus, Jesus teaches us there is no Trinity. All right, now I have finished Kings 1. So I've added that, and these are all the books that I've done so far that are the first writer's formats. Now, let me just pull it down here real small here so you can see that there's quite a bit of text here that's going to be made into a one long story in the correct order, or the best order that I can. And what I'm showing here is the hidden formats. And I'm going to now start the next book, and that will be, whoops. How come I got 2 Samuel up here? I got it advertised as Kings 1, so, or Kings 2. So let me get back here. And let me put that over here. Whoops, that isn't it. Oh, went over here. Sorry about that. All right, kind of a bad start. But that should be big enough on your screen. And let me just go here and shut that other one off. I was looking at that, I think. So here we go. Now, Moab, they have been dead for a long time. So let me see if I get a map here to show you what's going on with Moab, because I'm thinking a lot of text is going to be thrown out in this chapter. Is it? Here we go. Now, Moab is this old territory that has been, they were chased out by Moses. All men, women, and children and cattle were killed off. Same here and same throughout the territory here. And this is now turned into this is the promised land. This is the land that Moses gave them. And Esau, his brother's descendants, Isaiah or Israel's twin brothers' descendants lived there. Now, so this is not possible. So we don't know who rebelled against Israel. After the death of Ahab, now I have to show you the king's timeline, because he's a good king. Ahab is way down here, okay? So he actually, there is a story about him dying, was one of the last text I did in Kings 1. This is his son. But this is not breaking into a real nice format here for me. So, but this seems to be out of place. So let me get rid of that text. After the death of Ahab, well, okay, well, it's his son's going to rule after him. So Asa fell through. There is no such thing as an upper chamber. They did make their roofs flat, or an area of it flat, that they could walk around on. And being that he's a king, he would probably have that. So this is going to have to be a roof. And get rid of this and replacing it with truthful words. Now we know this for a fact, so that became the new capital city of Israel, by the way, the nation Israel. Through the roof and became ill. So he sent messengers saying, well, commanding, go and ask. Oops, inquire is to ask. This has to be from. Now they've been using the god Paul here. But this is not true here. Although I might have to use that because I just looked this over. This is a 3 verse, and this would be Ra, the sun god from Egypt. That if you've been here long enough, you know the story why I use that. That god. If I will recover from the sickness I'm going to get rid of that and say I'm going to add the sentence here. I will recover from the sickness, or will I die? I put that text in yellow when I do this. So here, I'm going to have one space. Here, that means that has to be a group. But it's so much of a group as this is a group, and this starts a new group. Oh, I'm going to get rid of the angel, because the prophet does talk to our creator. Why have he said to Elijah, so I don't need this. Now, Elijah, I think, has already ascended into heaven, so this might not, it might be Elijah. Okay, just to let you know what's going on there. So I'm going to give myself a reminder and meet the messengers for, now I'm going to use this king, and I've shortened his name down. Because that is who this is. Now this, I've noticed they have been changing in a lot of the beginning books. The text is when it changes subject, it goes from 3-verse to a different verse. This is a 4-verse. This guy was killed by his son, so he was a good king. And the way the story reads, it has to have our creator told him to do that. I don't think we have a story of his death. I'm just trying to see if this guy was killed by him. And the last text in 1 was written, I think we got him being told to be anointed. So maybe this becomes one of these kings down here, and this prophet might be a different prophet. The only way that makes sense to my little mind right now. Creator, whoops. Say to him, is this because there is no, I would say the word creator is wrong. The king is supposed to seek out a prophet. So I'm adding that up, getting rid of this. But this seems to want to say if I'm going to use these words, because there is no prophet in Israel. Oh, my cheat sheets here. Sorry to do all this adjusting, but I need this up to make the video a little bit faster. If I get rid of this and say to them, is there no prophet in Israel? But, and now that's, I know it's kind of reading funny right now. Adding this word, say to them, there is a prophet in Israel. And get rid of the question mark. Say to them, there is a prophet for Israel or in Israel. Yeah, I guess I could leave the word in there and say to them, because there is a prophet in Israel, but you are sending to ask if I get rid of this, our creator knows they're false gods, so no, I'm going to ask from a false god. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it like that. I was just going through my head, and I know that I've done this, used the word creator more often, so that's just to remind me that I've got to. Okay. Now I said that's so that's a 4 verse, so this has got to be 2 spaces here. But it's got to be, you say to them, is there no, therefore this was prophesied in the YV. Although if this is him talking to him, so this might be, has to be changed here to be me. I think that's the better way to write this. Our creator wouldn't speak of himself in third person, so I always try to get rid of that third person type of speech. If I go on the bed where you are, bed where you are, you will surely die. Now the thing here is this king that we're using here, Asa, he witnessed fire coming down from heaven onto Elijah's offering, a sin offering to our Creator. So he would be stupid to be doing this. This is why this is not making sense that it's this guy here. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now he doesn't have, Elijah met with them. Then the messengers turned, to him. Well, maybe this is after that with them. It's kind of like after he told them. After the messengers. But in a 4-verse format, maybe this is changed back to a 3-verse. Because this sounds like this is the statement and this is a half a sentence. It's almost like somebody's name is missing here. Why have you returned? I asked Arya, and he asked why they returned so soon. And that's still keeping it as a 4-verse. And they said to him, a male, met us and said, go, well, return to our king. Return to our king. This was I think that's the copy of the same thing. Yes, it is. On the bed where you are, you will surely die. On the bed. Wait a second. Well, yes, I got to add this. because I only have this left. Okay. So these two are now here. This is not needed. I don't need all this, so is a prophet. And I'm seeing that being a 3-verse could be made into through 3 verses. Is the text changing to a 3-verse? Let me see if I'm getting some of this right here. If I think this has changed to a 3-verse. Because this is the first, no, this is the second. That goes like this. This is still a 3-verse. Then this changes to a 4-verse. This would be a 4-verse. Now this would change here then. And this will be a second of 4 verses here. Can I make it 4 verses? Was prophesied by me, because there is greater or a prophet is you send to this, and then therefore you will not live. Who's okay? Okay, let me go with this then. And try to make it a 4-verse, 4 verses. Is this. But sent. Therefore you will not live. Now, who is this guy? Roz. This has to be like a diviner in a city. Let me just put it all back here. Sent to Roz. Diviner in that's too far away from that. Now, if he's in Samara, well, this would be like going to Damascus. But they were in battle with him. So I wouldn't do that. That has got to be a city's name. Although I don't care what the secular dictionary tells us or whatever in the Bible as well. So something here. That's still making sense. Okay, what I'm going to do, because I'm thinking and talking too much, and you've already probably seen this run by over here. So I'm going to put up Psalms so you can look at those and see the hidden formats that I found in Psalms about Jesus. Yeah, I'm saying to them, SN messengers, right? Met with us. Okay. Now, where would they be? Let me pull up a map here. He's down here in Jezreel. I'm going to leave it like this, not say what I'm doing with it yet. And then just a reminder that that's my best guess when I clean the text up. He asked, what kind of mail? Afterwards, what kind of mail? It's not really the kind of mail. It's like, what was he dressed like? Is the way I'm seeing it. I'm seeing this. So, what was like? Oh, oh, was the male dressed? That makes sense because they're going to reply that he had to hide, like, Harry doesn't look. They weren't supposed to cut their hair or trim their beard. So male was TRE. This has to be Elijah. Elijah. This has to be S. Elijah. It can't be the other guy because Elijah has ascended in the last one. So this becomes who's taken his place. So this part I think I've got right here. And that way he did not recognize him. He must have thought that he had died. Or he heard he died, but he didn't hear from the prophet yet, or didn't hear from Elisha yet. That would make more sense. And that way I don't have to question whether it's that king I do have to say that it's S. Elijah. That makes more sense. And he asked him, how was the male dressed? Came at you, spake. I don't get is this. Met you and spake these words to you. Okay, still 4 verse, but it makes more sense now. And they answered, if I do that, okay, now I'm going to have to look at something here because I'm not sure. No, he's going up here. I thought he had already ascended in the last one. So, but this has to come at, this is, the only way this can possibly make sense is this being Elijah, who he doesn't recognize, and he's thinking Elijah is dead. That's the only way. So these two chapters are going to have to be flipped around to make this reasonable or logically why this story's being said, that he would seek another creator because set him to a false creator. Has to be the only way. And then Elijah, I think Elijah is has no hair, hairless, has no hair. Would better cover up his maleness. So I think that is wrong. Trust in hides. Whoops. Oh, Brandon, your message did not come up. It got redacted, so you can try it a little bit better than that if you can. It kind of mentioned like, what the fuck am I doing? I would understand that. And that's because I'm revealing the first writer's formats. Here's all the books that I've done right here. And I'm looking for this hidden format that I use two major words connected with the least amount of smaller words. And that these verses become a paragraph. This makes a paragraph, but a 3-verse, I have this is a statement. These two are connected together to describe what that statement is. And then I find a very like wording, which these two become a larger paragraph. And you can see that's how I've done the text. And I can show you, yes, this whole 244 pages right now that I've got is like this text. So just to let you understand there. So, because I know a lot of people are not know this yet, but if you can go to Daniel, which would be the easiest book, and that is a 3-verse group, but the whole book is all 3-verse. So you can try it for yourself and see what's going on. And you can take that test I got there to see if you are a strong Christian or a weak Christian, or just a Christian in name and not know the truths. Then he answered him, the male was, well, if I put dressed again here, they answered him, the male was dressed in hides, girded with a rope, bound would be rope. So I guess I'd be replacing this word, but it's still, I have to add this like this. Oops, add just the D. Now this, again, Oh, now I'm going to have Harry. He wasn't hairy. He was hairless. It's bald. He answered, a bald male and hides a belt. Bald has to be the key here. And then he would know that it was Elisha's attendant. He doesn't know that he's been told he's a prophet. That's the only way that this story can happen. It's got to happen. I got to move this text below that. Then to him, a captain with 5, because it's like it says 50, but you don't need 50 people. So now this means I'm making it a 3 verse. Because it is a story changed. Oh, look at that. There's 2 spaces there. That would be perfect. He went to him. He wouldn't know he was there on a hill. So if you if you try to use the word hill and he's up on a hill and he's down here, he was on the side of a hill. The road wouldn't be up and downhill, but he was on the side of a hill, not the top. He was on the side of a hill. Sitting on the side of a hill. And he said to him, male or creator, this would be prophet. would know his name now. He would know how to look for him. He said to Elijah, and then that's all of a sudden back to a 4 verse. So I left this in. I gotta get rid of that. Behold, he was sitting on the high side of the hill. Summoned you. Has summoned you. Oh, if I put he was here, I'll need this. He was on the side of a hill, and he said to Elijah, your king has summoned you. That gets to the 3 verse. Now it's answered. Capital 5. With 5. He that he is if I am a prophet. Means he doesn't really have to listen to the king. In other words, that's all I get out of that sentence was But his fire but this has to be heaven like that. From heaven, down from heaven, and kill. Because if they disappear or they burn up and their ashes are left on the road, I think it'd be just their bodies. Killing you and your fire. And fire I don't think I'm going to have him kill another group of men. That just seems overkill. The response would have been somebody would have went and told the king what's going on, seeing the bodies there. The king would have to then know it was them, or they would have been recognizable as his servants. Well, again, he sent a captain. With his fire. He again sent a captain with his 5, with 5. He went to Elisha. It has to be when he came. I can't do it any other way. I'm putting the story together as you would actually try to write it correctly. When he came, he bowed. He for Elisha begged him, saying, it has to be spare. Spare. Him. Lives of these 5 servants is a, I don't like the word precious. In that, I don't like the word precious. I don't like that. In the lives of these servants, yeah, and be forgiven in your sight. He's not going to punish them, so commanded him, why he commanded Elisha to go with him, do not be afraid of him. He went to And that stays to the 3-verse format. All right, now what's going on here? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Well, that ended perfectly. This is false here because it's going to be Ada's. It's got to be his his youngest. Well, that didn't work either. And this was going to be so much changed here. Well, because he had no son. The second year, well, that isn't making sense either. Because it's down here. Now, Asa, and it would be later in his 35 years. So maybe it's his 32nd year. Mhm. Yeah, I need this. And the 3 10s here, the whole spot. And this, oh, that come out pretty clean. Okay. Add this, and add this. But that's what it needs to be truthful. As truthful as I can make the text. Now for chapter 2 of Kings 2. It's almost like this happened. Yeah, it has to be them two together. So this has to be from Samaria. Samaria, anyway. Yeah, so Elisha went with, and we're going to tell the story. By me. This isn't true. He's going to cross the Jordan, and to do that from here, you don't go all the way down here and go to here to go to here. So he's going to go down this walk to cross the Jordan somewhere here. And he didn't go there, so none of this here. Oh, this won't be true. What happened to Elijah in this story? Well, that's because he was going to stay there. That doesn't make sense either. It doesn't make sense there either. That doesn't make sense then either. This has to be walked. There. Elijah said to Elisha, stay. And Elijah said to him, stay here. Is across the Jordan. That just became a 4 verse. Visit is us across the river was Jordan. Five. I put head. Um, and the distance to them. Bank of the Jordan River. So that's got to read. I just can't imagine there's just barren, wide open land going down to the Jordan River. I would think it'd be wet enough down there that along the sides it would have been grassier. And they stood at a distance. The 5 men had come. They were probably going to go fishing. Had to be. Or even trapping. Maybe that's less than 5. Two of them stood by the bank, Jordan River. Oak. So that would mean that it's colder out. Smack the water, not struck the water, smack the water. Well, I could do that later. It's not waters, it's water. Water divided. Uncrossed over on dry. On dry land. These two sound like they could go together, and these two, they gotta be picking up to here. So, but I don't like dividing it here. But this is continuing a story that they crossed. So it's not really a separate story, it's a continuing of the story. After crossed. Elijah's son. What I can do for you. I think it's not what I will do for you, because that's going to happen. But Elijah asks, before I'm taken, double here, or a double space. That's the end of that. So your will will his strength to always do good is his portion. So I don't need the word double. And Elijah asked, please let a portion of your will be upon me. He replied, you have asked, heard, you have asked for a hard request. From me. Yet, if you see me taken YV will be with you with he is not for you. No, that's not how it can't be said that way. Can't use the word it. That just is wrong. If he is not, is not he. If he is not, he will not be with you. Meaning he's leaving us up to our Creator. Then it happened. They were walking and talking. Screen was healthy 15 minutes ago. Audio rate turned down. Okay, so it's telling me to turn my bit rate up, which is kind of odd. Push the wrong button here. I don't know. I will have to wait, I guess, a little longer. Let's see about the bit rate streaming here. There it is. Okay, it shows up excellent now. That's why I have to keep watching it. It is just something that doesn't communicate with, or I must not be doing. I don't know. YouTube just doesn't like what I do. It wants it up, it wants it down, it wants it up, it wants it down. A chariot with horses. Chariot of torches separated to separated then just Elijah went up to heaven. Now, if you don't know where heaven is located, you have to understand how they viewed the world at that time. The third heaven is the sky where the birds fly. Second heaven is the stars' motion created this Mount Zion, which makes North Star the peak of the mountain. And above there, the North Star is where heaven is located. So when everybody was in the text that looked to heaven, now you know where they were looking to. Get in. I have to have them stepping in there. So this is now this. This. Now that. And Elisha got in and went up to heaven. And his father, it would have been Lord. As the tenant, you would consider him as Lord. As Elijah saw. I don't think any of this is true. So my Lord is gone. Now, if I said this, that has to mean that's a verse, then I need this word. He said, this has to be as Elisha watched, this said, okay. So pick up also picked up the cloak that fell from him, turned to the as he stood by the bank. He took the cloak I think that would be a good way to say what's going on here. No, these are going to be the men. That were fishing there. They had to be doing something down the river. It had to be for a while. So I'm thinking they were fishing or netting fish. They probably said, man, that's how we'll catch some fish now. We'll just stop the water, and when they rush up, they'll rush into our nets. Okay, I'm just trying to see what they can't be opposite them. They got to be, and they could be picking up traps, but they have to stay there because that's going to take some time. When the men only saw him, they said, "It is Elijah." And they went to meet him. Bowed themselves to the ground before him. They wouldn't, the story doesn't have them knowing this now, so this I'm just going to get rid of. Then they returned with him. And Jericho's too far south. Say it's Jericho, because they got to cross another road way down here. But they had them coming down here to here to cross over. But that would mean there's a bridge there that's traveled by a lot of people. Or up here, there is no river that I know that there's a crossing here. So I'm going to put by this city here. Now, Jericho was a place that was found in a story in our Creator's Hidden Formats, and that's where I located this. So did I spell it right? R-I-C. Yep. Now he's got Elijah's place that he was being a tenant for. He could go back there and live there instead of staying at Jericho. So he stayed at Jericho for many days. And that would be given a reason why all of a sudden he had not returned. To go with the story above, why the king didn't know what Elijah was gone, he hadn't come back, then he would have recognized. Okay, that would make sense. We do it like this. but the water is bad. Oh yeah, he's gonna uh, clean up with spring water. So how is this? Your guess wasn't the water is bad. This would be changing the stories. It should go into a 4 verse. Can't be said. This has got to be well water. Maybe they were going back and forth collecting the water. That's who these guys were. And that's why they were there, not fishing that long. They were gathering water in their wagon to come back to here. That's the only now really good, reasonable answer why they were there. meaning all the wells around the area. Because I don't know how big Jericho was. It could have been a small village. But that way they could dig and have their wells and they wouldn't have to go down. Because that would mean that the water got bad at that time. Anyways, okay. If this is 2, I'm looking to see if I have to make another verse. No. So this don't need. Oh, I didn't go to Bethel. Okay, here's his baldness. But I don't think he would kill the children for his baldness. And kill that many? 42 of them were running around. Mount Carmel is not even in Israel anymore. That's not true. Now this, if I do use this now, it's got to be this. Can't be this. So he is now our Creator's prophet, is what this text is kind of saying. Then he went from Jericho. Turn to Samaria. Okay. Should be enough. That's chapter 3. So this is going to be copied. This is going to be pasted. This has to be clean. Editing. This has to be part 2, 2 Kings. What happened? How come I got still all that? The text didn't clean up correctly. What happened here? That. 2, 1, 1. And this has got to be missing up here at the top of what I was saying, that Elijah has got to be gone, and he didn't know what else to do. Is he had to be older as well. So I might have to come up with words like when That's the only way it makes sense to me. And it's the only way that the text, I know something's missing, and then there has to be, then it has to be when Ahaz was very old and Elijah was out walking and fell through the roof and became ill. Now that there's two spaces, then there'd be two spaces. This is when now he's being asked this question. Prophesied by there is a prophet in Israel that did not send to him. Okay, this is changing. But there's a 4 verse here. Make it a 4 verse, I'd get rid of that. There is, this was prophesied by YV. There is a prophet in Israel, but did not, but you did not send to him. Therefore, you will not live. Okay. Now to oops. Now the story is changing to a 3 verse. That's 2. 1. This is 2. That's 1. So it's going to be 2. Two and 2 and 1 and 2. This is a new story. No, he died. That's the story's continuing. Now it's space, 2 spaces. Okay, that's real good. It ended up in 3 verses and correct amount of verses. I only had to add at the beginning. 4 verse 1. This is going to be 2 spaces. I'm going to say it's 3. Don't need that many men to gather the water for the village. Though I don't think the wagon is that big. They're just down there making trips back and forth. And they were probably selling it as well to make some money. So and to make sure that this gets water. Um, now we don't care how many. Now men had come for water and stood at a distance. 2 here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That smoothed it right out with that, with figuring out what it was. They were there for the water. So cool when history is changed just like that. Sometimes it surprises me as well. Anyways, that was a good one. I liked figuring out that it was the water. And I will do another one as soon as I can. It's put my place up for sale, so I got to clean it up a little bit as well. So, but maybe just one a day. I think the next one is too many verses to be as what I did today. It only did take 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours. All right, you know the story here. Better go out and tell people prophecy is happening in your day. Other than that, have a great day.